Welcome, boys, to Men of War 2. That's right, it's the official release day. Be sure to go grab your copy over on Instant Gaming for a little bit of a discount over there. If you want to check it out, link in the description below. But today, we've got ourselves a full unit showcase here. We're going to be going over all of the different factions, all of their tanks, their planes, their marine stuff, all that fun stuff. We're going to be checking it all out and taking a deep dive into the editor files to see what this game has to offer. I did want to do some multiplayer stuff, however, the game wasn't really having it, sadly for me. Every time I joined a lobby and launched the game, someone would quit basically right as the game started. I don't know if that was a bug or what was going on, or if people were just leaving. But yeah, I was not able to really get any multiplayer stuff. So I decided, let's do the showcase today. Either way, we're going to start off with the German infantry. If you guys do like this video, hit the like button. Helps me out a ton. Thank you. Let's go. All right, boys. So we're going to start off with the standard German units here. And there's a lot of different units. Look at this to the right. All of this is the German army infantry alone. Yeah, there's literally hundreds of units in here, but keep in mind that a lot of the units are basically just like repeats of themselves, but with different weapons. So I spawned in pretty much all the unique troopers that are out there and some comparisons and stuff like that, but for the most part, there's going to be a lot of repeats in here that we don't need to look at over and over again. It's basically just like, oh, this guy's got a Kar 98K with the same uniform as this guy with an MP40. You get what I mean. So we do have the standard German soldiers here, the Wehrmacht, and they look really nice. I have to say, they look really solid. We've also got some winter variants, and you'll notice that most of these units have two different winter variations. There's sort of like the heavy winter, like this guy here, and then the lighter winter one. And yeah, pretty much all units have the double winterification thing. We've also got an officer trooper for them over here, and then like here's the MP40, for example, and you know, there's the Kar 98K. To the right of them, though, we do have artillery spotters, so winter variant artillery spotter, as well as summer variant of the artillery spotter right there. So those guys have a little bit of variation to their uniforms, which is nice to see. More standard troopers, yeah, more standard like officers and things like that. You can see there's various officers in their winter uniforms as well. Here's some of the recruit troopers, and I want to show this off because this guy has literally the largest anti-tank gun I've ever seen. This thing is huge. This thing is, look at that thing. It's absolutely massive. It's crazy. And then we do have the Panzerschreck right next to him, which is tiny in comparison. By the way, the effects in this game are really cool. I've been enjoying them a lot. To the left of them, we have the Brandenburgen here, or Brandenburger, and they look pretty nice. They look pretty solid. Basically, just like a camouflage jacket over the standard vest, I guess you would say, which looks pretty solid. There's a bunch of variants of them within here as well. But then over here, we have the different medics or corpsmen. We've got the standard, then we've got the winter and the heavy winter variants there as well. Again, that happens quite a lot. Now, over here, these are mountain rangers that we've got right here. And so these guys are not Jaegers, they're mountain rangers, though they look very similar to Jaegers. So, take some shots out there. Very cool, very nice looking. This is just another standard guy. I don't know why I spawned him in, but we do have the Flammenwaffen here. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a weird sound effect, but a little bit more like goopy fire. There's no sound effect for the fire, though. Okay, that could be adjusted. That could be better. Over this way, these are the Panzer Grenadiers. Again, very similar to the Brandenburger, except they do have the Stahlhelm instead. That's the STG-44, MG-34, pretty cool. These two are the Jaegers over here. We have one with the Gewehr and one with the sniper rifle, which just looks so good. They look very clean, but again, very similar to the Mountain Rangers over that way. Then we've got the paratroopers. So we have Winter Paratrooper, Standard Paratrooper, aka Fallschirmjägers, and then we've got ourselves a Scout Trooper right here, similar to the Artillery Spotter uniform. We've got a, this is I think another Scout, but a Panzer Grenadier Scout or something, I believe is what that was labeled as, or something like that. Then we have the Winter Panzer Grenadiers right here, which looks so clean. And finally, the Tankmen. So those are pretty much the German variants here. They look really nice. Let's go check out the French. Yeah, there's only one French guy. The French aren't really a faction. They just have one random nerd, one random French nerd here that you can spawn in. Nice. Okay, now for the Russian faction here. So again, we've got various sort of same troopers over this way. A lot of repeats in the Russian faction as well as the German faction. PPSHs, Mosin-Nagants, pretty cool weapons. We've also got anti-tank gun. Not quite as big as the big boy German one, but it's pretty cool. Heavy machine gun. Or light machine gun, I guess, is what it technically would be, because it can be carried around. And then we get into some combat medic stuff here. So we've got the standard combat medic and then the 2 winter variants again right here. They look very clean. I like them a lot. The flamer. I love this guy's flamethrower. Wood on a flamethrower goes so hard, but also makes very little sense to me. I don't know if that's historically accurate or not. But then we get some guards. So this is the guard officers, winter variant, standard variant, and then here we have winter variant, standard variant of the regular guards, and then of course a winter guard officer with the SVT and officer over here too. This way we've got a patrolman. Then we've got the Marines here. The Marines, they always look so silly to me. I don't know, but this is the winter variant in black, and then the summer variant here. Then we've got the Spetsnaz troopers. Very clean looking fellas. We've got the pilot right here. Pop, 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 blicky. And then the saboteur comm officer right there. Looks like a small child. All the Russians look very young. We got the sapper right here. The assault infantry, which of course had those very cool plates, the winter variant of course, and then finally the tank man. So yeah, the Russians also very nice faction. Let's do the US now. All right, now the US does have a bit less variation between their troops here. So we've got the various troopers here, BAR trooper, rifleman over this way, and there's like slight differences in what they're called, but actually when you spawn them in, there's differences, but I guess when you hover over them, they're both just riflemen, but I think they do have slightly different uniforms or something like that. Maybe it's just their faces that are different, but when you go to spawn them in, it says different things. Then we do have an armored car gunner here, which is interesting looking bloke here. Looks more like an Aussie than anything, but all right. Over this way, we've got, yeah, more BAR gunners. We do have the bazooka troopers.
Is covered with grass from all this sitting around.
Nice. Anti-tank gunner. Nice. That's a soft little anti-tank gun. Demo man. And then we've got some medics over this way. And what's interesting is they call this medic the forest medic. This one's the standard medic, and then this one's a winter medic. So little bit of a variation there as well. But then we've got the rangers over here. So this is the ranger commander, and then this is just a ranger rifleman. Pretty interesting. We've got the National Guard Grenadier. And then this is the Guards Driver. All right, over this way, we've got the Squad Leader, who has a shotgun, which is kind of fun. You don't get to see that very often. And then you get the Standard Squad Leader. This is the Winter variant. We've got a BAR man Winter variant over this way. Pathfinder Trooper right here, who looks pretty fire. I think another word for a scout, basically. We got Squad Lead over this way. Different variant, though. Here's the USMC, so Marine Corps. And then we've got another machine gunner over here. Again, different variant. We got military police over here, summer and winter, which is kind of fun to see that they included MPs in this. This is just the standard officer with the binoculars. Then we've got the paratrooper right here, pilot right here. Over this way, we've got more different rangers, basically. They look super cool. Really like these guys. And then the saboteur submachine guns. And yeah, they look kind of like Aussies. And then over here, Tankerman. Is the Tankerman like identical to the pilot? He kind of is. All right, interesting. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the infantry. Let's get into the vehicles here. Now, the way they set up their vehicles in this, which is different than Gates of Hell, is they set them up basically like all of them are together, but they're in different designations. So like these are heavy tanks, and then we have light tanks, but they don't do it in the method that Gates of Hell does, which separates them by country, which is a little bit more helpful. But We'll start with airborne here. So we've got the USA-20 right there. Lots of different airborne vehicles that we haven't had in a really long time in Men of War or just like in certain games. It's like kind of a culmination of a lot of different stuff this game, which is kind of fun. CG-4A, we've got a DC-47 and a DC-47 Rushkis. And then the FI-156, which I believe is like a scout plane. I-16, so some more Soviet stuff. IL-2, more Soviet stuff. IL-2 collection. I don't know what the difference between these two is. Okay. Then we've got the JU-52, JU-87, JU-87G, which I believe has different arsenal underneath. Then we've got the L4 here. Little tiny scout plane. The P-51. Beautiful. P-51D. So, again, I think a different arsenal. P-02. Alright, very nice. Yeah, P-02 scout plane as well. So, those are all the airborne vehicles currently in the game. But then we've got the different BTRs. So, this is where we get into a lot of vehicles. So we've got the M2. We also got the English version of the M2, which is kind of funny because England isn't really in the game right now. The M3 right here. Wait, does the numbers change if you spawn in multiple? Oh my god, it does. That's really cool. The number on the side changes. Then we've got the M4 tractor, which is such a goofy vehicle. It's so cool looking though. I really like it. The AB41, which I believe was used a lot in the North African campaign. BA-11, BA-20, all the different BAs all look almost exactly the same. They're just slightly upgraded weapons on them. M16, M1T48, then we got the M20, we got the M2 as well. There's a bunch of different variants of the M2, but then there's the M3, pretty much the M2 again. We don't need to go through all the variants of the M2s. They're basically the same vehicle. M8 Greyhound. Then we've got all the SDKs, which here's the 221, which actually... Is that an AA gun? I thought the 221 was only supposed to have a machine gun, but it looks like it has an AA gun in this game. 223. Oh, it looks like the 223 has the MG. Interesting. 232, 234, 251, 25116, 25117, 25122, 2519, 251B, 251C. Yeah, it's just like the same vehicle over and over again with slight variations to them. There's the 251D, 251DG, 251M. So that's a mortar variant. And then FZ4 is arsenal unit. And then the Z1 is going to be an AA carrier right there. Stai Rosso is that one. STZ5, little tiny universal carrier type beat. We got the T20, so we're back into the Russian type of things. Oh, one with a tent on the back. That's so cute. Universal carrier and the US tent version of that. So that's fun. Now we've got the cannons. We've got to get into some cannons here. So 120 millimeter coastal gun. I think this is the exact same model from the older Men of War games. Like, it doesn't look updated actually. That's kind of fun. Or sorry, funny. It's not really fun. Bofors right there. Browning with the stand right there. Degstyaryov with the stand. MG34. These all have the tower variants too, which I actually don't know the difference between. But okay, we've got multiple different types of mortars here. Some big, some very small. Just multiple different little mortar boys. They're cute, they're fun. I love a good mortar, man. Super OP in games like this, so they're always fun. Nebelwerfer, of course. QF6, so there's the M1 and then the QF6 right there. There's the 1927 cannon, the 1943 cannon, the 203 M1, that's a big daddy right there. The 203 B4, 52K, 53K, 61K, Browning randomly in this, BS3, so that's a very large boy. That'll take out some big tanks. The D1 right there, artillery Dushka with the stand there. F-22, we've got Flak 18, but then the Flak AT standing, not the mobile version. The wheeled version is that one. Flak 38, you got the wheeled version, the standard standing version. And then, wait, there's a 4 version? Excuse me? Oh, okay, that's the single gun variant. That is like a grill. LEFH 18, LELG 18, LG 40, which is almost like a tow missile. The M114 right there, M1909, M1AA gun, M2A TL, M2 cannon. That thing is weird. There's some new vehicles for me in this, man. There's some new ones. There's some M3s, M42, M5. Then we get into the M8 howitzer right there. Maxim with the quad, so you could really rip people apart. Maxson. Then you got the MG 34 dot, so it's what sits on top of a bunker. Dot 2. There's the sit MG. There's the stand MG. Then we get into some more big boys. ML20, MSR 18, huge guns here. Nebelwerfer 42. We got the Pack 35, Pack 36. Then we got the Pack 37T. That's a new gun for me. Interesting. Pack 38, classic. Pack 40, the ultimate OG. Pack 41 LE. Never used that one before. And then the Pack 43, the big boy. Rarely gets used in these games, but they're cool. We got the searchlights here. SFH 18, classic artillery right there. SIG 33. SK 18. Panzer 41. Okay, then we've got the stereo telescope, which is basically like a trench scope. Svarka Move, which is some sort of weird generator thing for the Russians. ZIS-2, and then a ZIS-3. Okay, lots of different cannons. Lots and lots of cannons. Well, then we get the cars, which we'll hopefully have a few less of, but Gaz AA, Gaz Support, we don't need to do the different variants. There's the one without the hood, so I guess I am doing the different variants. We won't for the GMC though. There's the GMC and then the Opel Blitz. We've seen those a billion times. But then we got the Willys MP. Of course, there's the English variant, which, you know, Lend-Lease, it's basically the same thing. The 29K right there. Then we've got the BM13, which is the Katusha. The Bulldogs Lands 38, which is a tractor. The Dodge Medical. Dodge with the machine gun. Okay, we don't need to do the different variants of the Dodge. We got the Dushka with the AAA on the back. The Gaz 67. 67B. Yeah, we really... Okay, there's the fuel, I guess. That's interesting. Kettenkrad. The Kubelwagen. The machine gun variant. More Opel Blitzes. We don't need to see those. There's just another tractor. That, again, is like the same texture from Men of War from, like, 2005. Oh my god. It's ancient. Why even have this in the game files? I hope whoever made this back in 2005 is still getting paid for it. And then the Willys AT, which is always kind of a fun one to blitz people in with multiplayer and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. Now we got the boats. Landing boats. That's the German landing craft, which is crazy to add those. That's so cool. That's so sick. Airboat, another Men of War model, didn't get updated. Flobsack. Why not just remove this and just have the Flobsack? I don't know. Landing boot. Another German landing boat. What? What's with all the German landing boats? Alright, now we get into the American LCVP. Beautiful. A little bit smaller. PG-1. That might be another Men of War model. But the machine gun on the back looks newer. SC-497. The big boy. The big boy. Sternboot 42. And that's it for marine stuff. I don't know what moto is. Oh, it's motorcycles. Oh, it's just abbreviated. I see. That's cute. Little motorcycles. Now we get into the big boys. The heavy tanks here. We're not going to go through the dead models. No, because that's boring. We'll go through the alive ones. So, the Brumbar. The Ferdinand. IS-1. IS-2. The 1944 version of the IS-2, so slightly upgraded. IS-2 early version, so slightly downgraded. The IS-3. Then we've got the ISU 122. That bad Larry right there. ISU 152. The Jagged Tiger. Huge tank. KV1. KV1 Zarudinu. I don't know what that means. KV1 Zis 5. So it's a different gun on that one. KV1E. KV1S. There's so many different KVs. KV2. KV8, which has a flamethrower. KV85. It's a lot. M26. M26E4, which is so baller looking, man. Oh, incredible. Then we got the MK4 Russian. So, English tank right there. But transferred over to Russia. Now we get some more Germans. Panzer 6B. Panzer 6BH. Panzer 6E Tiger tank. Standard Tiger tank. This one's a weird one. It's like a French tank almost. Panzer Beast 2740F. Then we got the Sturm Tiger. Then we got the SU-152 right there. I thought we already saw that. Maybe not. T-29, T-35, T-95, baby. Okay, heavy tanks, done. Now we're going to light tanks. We'll do medium tanks after. BT-7. German captured BT-7, which is funny. BT-7A, although the Germans did capture a lot of Russian weapons on the Eastern Front and turned them over. Karo 1-5, the Goliath, the tiny little killer that could. The Hetzer, HT-26, LVT-1, LVT-4, so some more landing craft for the Pacific. M18, got some anti-tank guns. Oh, that's an AA gun, the M19, M24, M3A1, Russian version of that, so Lend-Lease, M5A1, different variants of the Stuarts, the M8, the Martyr 2, the Martyr 3, the Panzer 1. Oh man, now we're getting into all the Panzer 1s and Panzer 2s. They all look very, very similar. Just slight differentiation in like the main guns that they've gotten, like maybe a little bit more armor for some of them, but they don't change that much. Now the Panzer 38 GHs, the Panzer Jaeger 1, the SDK, the Sturmps. I have no idea what that gun is. Never seen that before in my life. SU-76, T-26, T-26E, T-40, all the different Russian vehicles right here. TNS, the T-70 and the T-60 right here. Then finally the ZIS-30 and the ZISU-37. The ZIS-30, man, always, you think it's going to be such a baller weapon. It's so hard to use properly because it's like both the worst of being a tank and the worst of being an anti-tank gun. It's like the worst of both worlds. All right, let's go into medium tanks now. So we're going to start off with the Hummel, the M4A1, classic. We've also got the English version here and the infantry version here, which I don't know what the infantry version means, but that's what it is. The Triple D, so these are the bad boys on D-Day. The F2, then we've got the 4G. These also have infantry versions, so maybe one version allows infantry to ride on the side, maybe one doesn't. That might be it. T-34, T-34-76. I thought the T-34-76 had the longer barrel. Maybe I'm wrong. Interesting. All right, Jagged Panther, Jagged Panzer, Jagged Panzer 4, Jagged Panzer 4 Watcher, which is crazy looking, Geonosis tank, M10 Wolverine, M12 GMC, M2A1 Med, I don't know what that, medical maybe, M36, we got some more tank destroyers, those are always fun, M3 Lee, M4A2, oh my god, now we're gonna get into all the M4 variants, the S76W, 76W Russian variant, the Thunderbolt variant, don't even know what that means, but it must be some special tank, Russian variant of the M4A2, M4A3, M4A375, here's the Zippo, so the flame tank, the C, so it's the Calliope version, E2 version, there's the Jumbo 76, that thing is lethal and hard to kill, the PO, then we get the M4A3M, which is the Mine Searcher, the M4A4, that's the one the British mainly used, the M7, the Nashorn, the OT-34, I don't know what the OT-34 is. What is the OT? Oh, it's the flame version of the T-34, I guess. Panzer IIIF, Russian variant, so stolen. Panzer IIIJ, the M. I think it was a lot more rare for the Russians to steal German tanks than the Germans were to steal Russian tanks, because the Russian tanks were very simple. Like, literally, to drive them, it was very easy. You could even use, like, mallets to do the gear shift and stuff like that. But the German tanks were a lot harder to drive. It required more training. So Russians were less likely to steal those tanks. Panzer IIIN, Panzer 4D right there, Panzer 4E, Panzer 4H, my personal favorite tank in most Men of War games, Panzer 5A, so the Panther, the PO version, which looks sick. That's fire. God dang! Panzer 5G, Stug 3B, Stug 3F, all the different variants here. It's 3G, 4G. There's so many. Oh, I thought we crashed there. 42, SU-100, SU-122, SU-85, T-28, T-28E. Oh my god, T-34. Oh, all the different 34 variants again? We have more 34 variants? My god, man. The 85. 85 is freaking lethal, baby. So deadly. So deadly. It seems like the PO versions are so detailed. That must mean something. The double armored version, T-34Ms, that's mine disposal. The Valentine for the Russians, so an English tank. And the Wirbelwind. Finally, we've got trains here for the first time. So this is interesting. I mean, trains have been in the other games, but they're not actual, usually working vehicles. The crane, can you work the crane? That's crazy. That's actually kind of sick. Yeah, there's a bunch of different cranes. Platform van right there. It's interesting that they're set up as actual vehicles in this game, which is kind of cool. So you can make some cool, probably train maps now. Steam locomotive, that thing looks sweet. I like that a lot. The Tendor, I don't even know what that, oh, it's just like a coal train, nice. And then the Tredevan. Okay, very cool. Drop side wagon. So another coal variant. Oh my goodness. So, as you can see, I mean, they balled out in this game. There are hundreds of vehicles, hundreds of infantry. It goes pretty crazy, pretty hard. And I'm very excited to play some more of this in the future. This was basically just a showcase of all of the units that you can use in Men of War 2. Let me know in the comment section if you'd like to see some multiplayer. I would definitely do some with you guys if you wanted to do like a live stream or something like that. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts overall. I mean, the game just came out today, so I'm curious to see what you guys think of it. I've had access to it for a few months now, on and off as they do different play tests. And it's definitely a game that I think needs a little bit more refinement. But I'm very hopeful for the future of it. I am going to be playing a lot of it, I think, and hopefully some sweet mods come out. I know there's one mod that was sort of like released coinciding with the release of the game, but yeah, beyond that, no mods right now. I'm excited to see what the community does with this game and all that. I'm very excited. I think this has a lot of potential, so can't wait. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.